Alright, it's time to pot up, bag up some tomatoes I got in the greenhouse. And basically everything I do in there starts right here with my horse manure. This is that big pile I had from a few months back that's composted down pretty good. And Miss Cat's Cradle, that video you sent back to Eden, where the guy was doing his chicken manure with a little thing like this. I told you I'd do it the same way. And then take the big chunks, get rid of them, repeat the process, and you end up with this right here, what I call black gold. This was horse manure, hay. This composted real good. This is some good stuff right here. This is what makes my tomatoes go. Alright, I got me some compost ready. Now it's time to mix this up. What I'm going to do is take 1 bucket of my compost. I want to get 1 bucket of peat. Dump the peat moss in here. Then we're going to take 1 bucket of store-bought potting soil. Dump this in. We're going to take a handful, give or take, of some dolomitic lime. Sprinkle that on there to give it some calcium and magnesium. And we're going to add some perlite. And what I'm doing is basically it's 1, 1, 1 and 1/4. It's one part compost, 1 part peat, and 1 part potting soil, and 1/4 part perlite. Put this on here. When you go to get perlite, if you're going to do a lot of this, don't get the little small bags from the store. It's going to cost you $4 a piece. Go down to the local feed supply and get you a big bag like this. I think this was $17 for this almost trash can full right here. I put it in trash can just to keep the bottom of it from getting wet and the stuff from falling apart. You take your shovel. I use the round tubs so I can get in here and get it mixed up real good. If I had one of them big fancy blenders or one of them compost barrel mixer things, it might go a whole lot faster, but I don't have one of those right now. It's on my to-do list to build one. It just hasn't made its way up to the top yet. It's got too many other things in the way. Just get that thing mixed up real good. Take the shovel and run around the edges there. Go down in the middle. Make sure you bring the bottom up. Get it all stirred up real good. And that's what we're going to use right now. Last year we did, I did, peat, perlite, and compost. This year I'm mixing in some regular potting soil and the lime. See if we can't step it up a notch. We had a good winter, early spring, and we're going to try to do even better this time. When you finish up, you get a nice mixture like that. This kind of dry, where the peat was dry and the potting soil was pretty dry. So we get it watered down real good and get the pots filled up. One thing different I'm doing this year, I got some of these buckets. The guy from the feed store brought me some of these. I got about 75 of them. And since they're free, you know I got to use it because free is always good. And what I did, I just cut 4 holes in the bottom, 1 hole in each side, and I'm going to pot up some tomatoes in that. And then the regular 5-gallon grow bag, I'm going to put some of this right here too. So let me get all this stuff potted up, cleaned up, situated, and we'll check back in a little while and see how the plants are doing. After I finally got everything potted up, bagged up, this is what I ended up with right here. I've got this first row of big beef tomatoes. I grew 1 plant this year just to see how it would do outside, and I was very pleased with it. I like the taste of it. It is a hybrid, but it's a really productive, good tasting plant. So I decided I'm going to make a run of those in here. Right here is a row of indeterminate Rutgers, saved from seed that I grew out back in the spring. That's my favorite tomato right there as far as taste. And over here on the side, I've got some determinate Rutgers, and on the end down there, some Heinz 1439, another little determinate. Lady out on the west coast sent me those things. Thank you, Melody. And we're going to try them, and as far as taste and production goes, and just see what I can get as far as the determinate down that sidewall right there. One thing you notice is there's a discrepancy in the size of the big beef, and then they get smaller as you go to the right, and that's because of the way that they were potted up. When they're in the 4-inch pots and they're growing, they kind of hit a wall where if you don't get them out of the pot, they kind of slow down, and the first ones out, the first ones to get potted up were the big beef, so they've had a little bit more time to take off. The second row was behind the first one, and then on the outside here, those were the last ones to get bagged up, and you see they're a little bit smaller, but they'll come on. The big beef right here got real nice first blossom sets on them, looking real good. And occasionally I'll come by, just take this little cordless toothbrush right here and vibrate that thing just like a honeybee would do. Try to help it out a little bit. You don't have to do that. They'll pollinate, pretty good without it. You can just come by and shake the vine or something like that. That'll do just fine. But anything I can do to help the process, I try to do it. In addition to all the tomatoes and cucumbers, we got to have some more peppers. So what I'm doing this year, instead of doing California Wonder, I've got some Camelot, which I grew outside, big blocky green pepper, and Sunbrights. I got four Camelots, 3 Sunbrights. I think that's the way it comes out. So we're going to try them this year in the greenhouse, see how they do. You notice I got them in my 5-gallon grow bags, and they're only planted right up to that first node, which I had explained in another video. Matter of fact, this one right here already got little blooms starting to come down in there. So hopefully, if I can time this thing just right, where I can have tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers sometime in November, we can have a nice fresh salad for Thanksgiving dinner. That'd be pretty cool. So that's what we're looking like right now. Cucumbers over on the side, some divas, and some English cucumbers on the end that I don't think are really English cucumbers. My big beef tomatoes, looking good. Indeterminate Rutgers, same deal. And my determinates on the side, they're going to come on, and looks like everything's going to go pretty good. Peppers on the end down there. I'll get some squash started here shortly, and I'm going to try to run this up till sometime around Christmas, and then we'll switch this greenhouse over to cold crops, and hopefully I'll be done with the big one, and we'll get ready to run more tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and that one's going to be big enough where I can do just about anything in there. So I may even go ahead and try to do some corn and some beans and stuff like that, just see how well they do in the middle of the winter. We'll see y'all next time.